3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running.
Whether you've been married 1 or 20 plus years, at some point, you realized you were married into crazy.
And that's what our podcast is all about. We offer love, laughter, and a dose of reality as we unpack this crazy thing called marriage.
So sit back, relax, and get your ear hustle on. It's time to start the conversation.
All right, let's go.
Welcome to episode 187 of the Married into Crazy podcast with Snooks and Lovey. I'm Lovey.
I'm Snooks.
She's Snooks. She's so demure. She's so shy. She is anything but shy.
Wow, really? Why are you trying to tone shame me?
Because I need you to get out there. I don't know what's going on with our microphone
I'm not really
system.
feeling appreciated right now. I'm just saying.
Wow. Are you going to go there? We're going to come back to that.
Okay.
But we want to welcome
But
everybody.
I'm not feeling appreciated? And you just totally blew past it? Okay. We want to welcome everyone to the show.
We do. You have so many different opportunities, different choices, things that you can be doing, and we're just blessed, and we feel very honored that you're spending time with us here on the podcast. Listen, Married into Crazy is about a married couple, not just us, but you, the married couple, all of you that are listening, those of you that want to be married, those of you that aspire to be married, that are looking to take your marriage from wherever you are right now to whatever that next level may be. Mm-hmm. And so what we try and do is bring a variety of different topics, things that pop up in our lives, other couples that we hang out with, our Iron Tribe, like what we have right there on Facebook. We have the Iron Tribe, the marriage community. And occasionally we get DMs from people that are saying, hey, what about this? What about that? It's real life stuff that people are going through. And we want to make sure that we're lifting up the covenant of marriage. And the way that we do it is through this podcast and through our coaching.
Right.
It's like pulling teeth with her to get her to say anything.
No, it's not. You have this flow down really well. So instead of me stumbling, bumbling, whatever, I let you do your flow. And then when we get into our topic, then I continue to do my stuff.
Okay. All right.
I mean, that's how it's always been. It's not like I'm going to sit here with my arms crossed.
And be quiet. So here's the thing. We're going to pay some bills up front. Just want to let everybody know that, look, what we're asking you to do is tell a friend, tell a family member, tell a friend, tell a coworker, tell anybody you know that listens to podcasts or that are interested in listening to podcasts to go to Apple Podcasts or Spotify and download and subscribe to the Married into Crazy podcast with Snooks and Lovey. Mm-hmm. And give it 5 stars while you're at it. 5. She thinks that by raising her hand that everybody in their cars can actually see that right now. That is the crazy thing.
I got 5 on it. I just want everybody else to put 5 on it. So.
Well, look, but I appreciate you. I do appreciate you. And for you to say that you didn't feel appreciated, that hurt my feelings.
I'm sorry. Did it?
No.
I know it didn't.
No, not at all. So, but did you feel appreciated this past weekend?
I did. So let's just get into it. April is here. April is my birthday month, and I like to celebrate it all month. And Lovey started the month out really great. He surprised me and took me to a show. We stayed out of town, and we went and saw the Alvin Ailey Dance Company.
It was pretty awesome.
It was very awesome. I've always wanted to go see them. I don't know what happened before, but they were at Davis. We didn't make it, but that was years and years ago. So I was totally surprised. He kept asking me, do you know where we're going? Do you know where we're going? I'm like, no, I don't know where we're going. So I have this thing, just a little background, and I think Lovey's talked about it before. Like our calendar that we share on our phone, I don't typically look at it a whole lot.
At all?
I add stuff. And so when, Lovey puts stuff in there, I'll just hit okay. And so I don't really look and digest or whatever. So he put it on the calendar. And I don't know that you put in where we were going
nope,
or what we were doing.
I did not trust you.
Okay. Anyway, so he kept asking me, do you know? And I'm like, no, I don't know. So we went to, we stayed in Berkeley.
Yep.
In
Emeryville,
yes.
But for all those that don't live in Northern California, in the San Francisco area.
Yes. Okay, basically, yeah. And we went to dinner at Skates. Skates on the Bay.
Right. I haven't been there
I hadn't.
since
Oh my gosh,
I was in my early 20s.
I hadn't been there since my 21st birthday. My mom and myself and my little brother Derek and my dad, we went there because his birthday's the day before mine. Anyway, so that was the last time I was there, and I loved it. I had such a great time. And so after we left Skates, we went to Berkeley and we saw Alvin Ailey. It was a great show. It was a really great show. So
And who knew that I actually would like modern dance? I thought, I'm doing this. I'm going to take one for the team. I'm going to go there because I know that she's really wanted to do this. And it's funny. I've only known about the Alvin Ailey Dance Company because of shows like Cosby and Different World. And I remember on Fresh Prince that the original Aunt Viv, I believe,
Was
used
a
to dance
dancer.
her. She was a dancer for the Alvin Ailey Company. So this is a minute.
was she a dancer for them?
Yeah, I think she was
Oh,
a dancer
okay.
for
I
them.
knew she was a dancer, but I didn't know she was a
Yep.
dancer.
She
for
was with
them.
Alvin Ailey Dance Company. And so I was like, so almost since our youth, it's like it's been like this major thing out there, like, oh, it's like the pinnacle of
Dance.
dance. It's pretty awesome out of New York. And like she said, we had an opportunity to see him before, and for whatever reason we didn't years ago. And I was looking for things to do to kind of kick off her birthday month. And I thought, you know what, I need her to know that she is appreciated. She really means a lot to me. She's going through a lot because of school, and she's mom, and she's wife, and she's daughter, and she is woman. I don't know the whole song, but she
I
is
don't
woman.
feel like roaring half the time. so.
Right? But no, I wanted her to know that she's appreciated. And so set that up, and it was a lot of fun. It was captivating from the beginning
Oh,
to the very
dance,
end.
yeah. It was awesome. It really was. And I hope that everyone who can appreciate that type of dance or even just
Even
that
if you can't.
ambiance,
I didn't think I would.
just to go. It was great.
It was phenomenal.
It was really great.
But that brought up the topic of what do we do to show appreciation for our spouses? And it's so I put out this meme a few days ago, and I put these memes out about 4 or 5 days a week on our social medias. So you'll find on Facebook as well as Instagram and occasionally on LinkedIn that there'll be some memes that I'll throw out there. And one of them is a conversation starter. And the question to start the conversation with your spouse or your significant other was, ask them what you need to do in order to feel appreciated. It's basically ask, what can you do more of to make them feel appreciated? As a matter of fact, that's going to be the question of the month. It'll be on the website on marriedintocrazy.com. Go to the question of the month tab, and you can leave your verbal answer by just clicking the button and answering. How do you make your spouse feel appreciated, or how does your spouse make you feel appreciated? Let's do that. But it was this great topic, and so I brought it up to our men's group the other day. Every Sunday, I get on Zoom with these fellas from all across the U.S. and different, religions, nationalities. It's just a great group of guys that come together, and all we do is really, we bask in our maleness. We don't sit there and Zoom flexing and all that. No, but what we do is we talk about the challenges that we have as men, and we're trying to challenge each other about business perspectives, about relationships, about being vulnerable, about becoming better men all the way around, being better brothers, husbands, fathers all the way around. And so I had posed this question and shared it with the fellas, and there's just been a lot of banter going back the last 2 days, back and forth, so they all accepted the challenge. They went back to their spouses and asked, what can I do more of to make you feel appreciated? And it's been crazy. I can't share the answers, but it's really cool how everyone's sparking these conversations in their homes, and they're like, oh, well, dang, I thought I was doing all right.
Yeah, and therein lies the challenge, I think, for not just the males, but even for the females. I think a lot of times we think that certain actions, well, that of course I appreciate you. I mean, we take for granted that the other person would just automatically know. Some people might be like, I went to work,
Amen.
so you should be appreciated or whatever, or that's how I show appreciation. And the challenge is the way you show appreciation is not necessarily how they receive it. Does that make sense?
True. I think it's closely tied to our love languages.
Yeah, but yeah, I think so. I think so, but then again, maybe not, because you asked me the question of how I would feel more appreciated. And I don't think my response had anything to do with my love language.
No,
So,
it didn't.
okay. So maybe it's not so much that it's, love languagey, or, for the love language or whatever, but I just feel like
No,
it's important to find out from the other person.
no. I think you're right. I think first and foremost, it opens up communication.
Hmm.
There's some dialogue that's created, so you can actually get to the point where what you're trying to do is build a culture of appreciation within your home.
And isn't that something? I think I find it kind of funny, because that is, I feel like that's one thing that could possibly be overlooked in all the other things that we do. We focus on, we talk about intimacy, we talk about communication, but we don't really talk in great depth about appreciation. I think we just assume that, well, I held your hand, or
I
I
came
told you
home.
I loved you, or whatever. I took the garbage out. Those type of actions.
But see, that's the challenge. We take so much for granted.
Mhm.
We take for granted that, you both work 8, 9, 10 hours a day. And then unfortunately, sometimes it's like, oh, okay, well, what are you going to cook, babe? And it's like, well, okay, that's taking it for granted, right?
I don't know if y'all heard the deep sigh, but
If you didn't, I felt it.
but yeah, it's just taken for granted that, okay, I'm going to cook, or you're going to get the garbage, or you know,
Oh, it's taken for granted that if something breaks on the car, that I'm going to fix it.
no one takes that for granted.
Nope, I'm taking it to the shop.
No one takes that for granted, babe.
No, but it is one of those things. It's okay. Let's talk about cars. Not really talk about cars, but the funny thing about cars is cars break down because we don't do enough maintenance on them, and more times than not.
Okay.
And one of the maintenance things that you can do in your relationship, a relationship will break down as well if you don't do maintenance. And if you just assume that there's enough gas in the tank,
That's true.
you're never going to reach that destination, or you're going to find yourself stranded somewhere where you don't want to be.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the ways that we can actually keep gas in our tank is to consistently show appreciation, or at least inquire, how can I be more appreciative of you? What do you need from me to make sure that you feel as if I appreciate you?
Well, I mean, yeah, I'm trying to get my words together. It takes me a minute sometimes to really form a complete sentence.
I know.
Whatever. But it's like asking those questions. Those are very important, and it's not meant to be an argument type starter, because if you say, what can I do to show more appreciation, my comeback shouldn't be anything like, well, if you pick your shoes up, or if you fold some clothes, or something like that. We want to make sure that we're not turning off our spouse
Right.
by in our response, because we're frustrated about whatever, because I'm always doing this, I'm always doing that, and you don't notice this, or you don't notice that. And let's just be real. Sometimes when you do some good stuff, and, oh, thanks, babe, but it's just one of those auto responses.
And
Is it really thanks, babe, or you just know that I want to hear thanks, babe? I want you to be authentic, and I want your responses to be real, and I want to feel the sincerity. Does that make sense?
It makes a lot of sense.
Okay.
And that's the challenge, because we're only human. And you start adding other things. We've talked about this many times, where you had the job, you have a newborn or a toddler, or got teenagers. It doesn't matter. Let's just say kids.
Young adults, yeah.
Doesn't matter where they're at in the spectrum. We have adult children. Still challenges.
Jesus.
So it's one of those things. It doesn't matter if you're a master at communication. You feel like you're really one of those people that communicates well with each other. We're only human, and there's going to be moments when we feel driven to distraction by all these different things that are going on in our lives, the job and the career, the side hustle, whatever it may be. And I don't care how good you consider yourself to be. We all have flaws, right? And there's going to be conflict no matter what. And even in that, there's absent-mindedness. And that absent-mindedness is that piece where it's like, I forget to recognize and acknowledge the little things.
The little things that I do well.
Because those are the things that truly count. And it doesn't take a whole lot. Look, when you have people that are considered masters, like John and Julie Gottman, they run the Gottman Institute. And one thing that they always talk about is it always comes down to little things. But what makes these masters, that are so successful, they have the same challenges. Mm-hmm. But what they do is they look for opportunities to show appreciation, recognizing the things that you do, and then calling it out and saying, I like it when you do this. Yeah,
and I think that is a big thing, looking for the opportunity.
Because we look for so much else.
We're quick to focus on if, something was wrong or why you didn't do this, but we don't, I feel like as a whole, we don't really necessarily take the time to look. That means to look means to seek. That means I'm trying to find information. I'm on a fact-finding mission. And a lot of people are just like, I'm too tired for all that. I ain't gonna do all that.
I don't know if it was my upbringing, if it was the military or whatever, but I always talk about keeping your head on a swivel. Always know your environment. Mm-hmm. And we teach our kids that. We've always taught them that, when they go out. And like this weekend, there was a horrible tragedy in Sacramento. This is where we live, right outside Sacramento. Mm-hmm. And at the club, right outside the club that our oldest daughter frequents, she and her friends, that's their spot. That's where they always go. And for the last couple of weeks, they've been homebodies. They haven't gone. Any other given week, they would have been there in the mix. But I always tell them, keep your head on a swivel. And that means that, be aware of your environment, scan your environment, know what's going on around you. But that same advice applies to your marriage, applies to your relationship. Keep your head on a swivel. Be aware of what your spouse is doing and take note. What? Why are you laughing?
I'm so laughing because Lovey, God bless him, some things.
Oh, I'm oblivious to some stuff. I'll admit it.
It's just funny to me. You keep your head on a swivel, but there be certain things like I'm like a project type of person. I like to do projects, and I especially like to do projects like if Lovey's like, I wish this would be done or blah, blah, blah. And it's something that he wanted to do. I'm just like, I'm going to do this. And I'm going to see how long it's going to take for him to notice it. And he'll blow right past it. And it used to upset me.
I'll notice it.
Babe, cut it out.
Like 3 weeks later.
Well, yeah. When I first do it, I'm all excited and like, oh, yeah, blah, 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 whatever. Here he comes. You ain't gonna say nothing about it. You ain't gonna, So just like he said, keep your head on a swivel. I don't mean to.
Well, no, it's funny you call me
out,
but
it's just funny to me because now I know not to expect for you to notice something, but he'll surprise me, and he'll be like, "Oh yeah, give me a kiss or something." And I'm like, "Oh, like an extra special kind. What is that for?" And he's like, I noticed you did blah, blah, blah. Or I picked up on yada, yada, yada. So I was like, okay, go Lovey.
Every blue moon. No, but it's true. I mean, the other day, like, friends, okay, if you guys are watching YouTube, you see me wearing our Married in a Crazy hat, our signature white logo hat. And she created a thing here in the office where I can hang the hat. There's a couple of hats that I have that have our logos on it. And you guys can get your own as well from marriedinacrazy.com. Go to the store and you can get the t-shirt, the hat, the apron. There's so many different things there and they're pretty cool. But it took me like 2 or 3 days to realize that you even hung them up.
Yeah, I didn't even say anything. Because, I knew eventually you'd be like, where's my hat? And then I could just point you to it. So.
But I discovered it on my own.
Yep, he did.
But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm saying keep your head on a swivel. I'm talking about.
But I appreciated the fact that,
True.
I mean, and I feel like that little tiny thing, that was a reciprocity, appreciation of reciprocity. I'll say it like that, because I know that you're going to be looking for your hat. So I'm like, let me just put it up for him or whatever. And then the fact that you're like, that was a great idea. How you did, blah, blah, blah. So you appreciated the fact that I did it, and I appreciated the fact that you noticed and you commented.
Okay. All right. But see, when I'm talking about that stuff, I agree with you. No, and I
I was like,
appreciate.
what you mean?
I
That was
appreciate
good.
you.
No.
And this, listen, when we talk about the culture of appreciation, we're not talking about, the bro talk. Appreciate you. Everybody's talking about, appreciate you. You know what? That's not what we're talking. We're talking about noticing what your partner is doing right
Mhm.
and calling it out. Catch your partner in the act of doing good stuff and let him or her know, I see you.
Well, and the thing with that too is positive thoughts invoke positive feelings.
Right.
So, I mean, we we talk so much about the mind. I mean, as a whole, as people, watch what you say, watch how you think, or whatever. Even in our marriages, it's the same thing. The way that we speak about certain things, if my thoughts are positive, then I'm gonna have positive feelings about it. If I'm mad about whatever, I'm feeling some kind of way, then that aura is gonna be reciprocated.
I
Because
agree.
you can be like, what the heck? What's wrong with her?
Well, and that's where energy is going to flow, right?
Oh, yeah. What's that? Say it. The saying.
Oh, now you put me on the spot. I'm not even going to remember how to say it right.
Where
Um,
your something.
energy, energy flows where your focus goes.
Okay. See, you got it right.
And when you have positive thoughts that invoke those positive feelings, then you're going to end up having good positive energy that's flowing. And it's that energy that we pick up on. We want to be around that.
Mm-hmm.
I know I'm not like this new age crystal person or whatever, but I do recognize that we are all energy. And it's one of those things where you want that positiveness, because I guarantee you understand and the feeling when you walk into the house and you know something's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And you immediately want to turn around and be like, okay, I need to go
Ugh.
back out in the garage because this don't
Lord.
feel right.
Right. What happened now?
Right. But we want that. We want to create the energy. I used to tell my
Mm-hmm.
volleyball team all the time. The girls will tell you, I'm yelling at them, create your own energy on the court. And I'm telling you, create your own energy in your home. And you can do that by building this culture of appreciation. And what do you think are some of the easy ways? Because I think they're easy. Now, let me back that. They're simple, but not always
I was about
easy.
to say that's a difference. So, yeah.
What are some ways that you think you do or we can all do in order to build a culture of appreciation?
Well, one thing it kind of goes back to like you were saying about love languages. I I make sure that I'm tuned in to your love language, and I make sure that I'm showing you your excuse me, your love language. You
Yeah,
know.
she was showing me last night. And I appreciate you.
You know what?
I'm just saying, I
Well,
appreciate
silly.
you. I want the world to know I appreciate you.
Okay.
No.
But that's just one thing, expressing affection, you
Right.
know.
And there's different forms of affection. It could be tender touch.
And that's one thing that, where intimacy comes in for us is that wherever we are, if we're in the same vicinity, Levy and I always touch, you know. I touch. He tries to grope, but
Hey,
but
tomato,
I mean,
tomato.
whatever. But I'm just saying that's just how we are. But that's part of showing appreciation too. He's busy at work, or I'll come in the office and he's doing something. I might just give him a kiss. He does the same thing if he sees me deep involved in studying or whatever. Like last night, he just was like, "Hey, you need anything? Are you okay? Blah blah blah, whatever." Just checking on me, and I really appreciate it because I was stressed out. Knowing how where my mind is, how the stress is affecting me, and just trying to alleviate some of that stress. I appreciate that.
And what's funny is that she doesn't know that. Like, I will sit there for like 60 to 90 seconds looking through the office door. Like, okay, I'm watching her. Like, is it safe? I'm like, is it safe to go in the lioness's
Whatever.
den? She's taking over the office. I'm like, okay, so, and I'm not lying. I sat there and I watched you last night. Like, is it good? Is she like heavy, angry? Is she like that heavy sigh? Is her brow furrowed? And then when I saw that you were just kind of reading, I'm like, okay, it's safe to go in there. Get in and out. Go, 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 go,
Look,
go. It's like a SWAT team.
Whatever. That must have been after I threw the book and picked it back up again.
Oh, I missed that.
Swiped everything off my desk. It's stupid. I'm not doing it.
But it's those things, and then look, we live in a culture or a time, I should say, where texting is the norm. People text all the time. There's nothing wrong with you just texting a compliment. Simple compliments. Something about, you know what, you look beautiful when you left this morning. Can't wait to see you later today. These little things, it's like, or you can even speak to, I really liked dinner last night. I didn't get a chance to tell you, but I truly appreciate you, and I really love that. That was awesome, and I don't think I'd tell you enough.
Yeah. And another one, like we just talked about our getaway trip. I was surprised about the Alvin Ailey and stuff like that. Little surprise gifts, and it doesn't have to be anything extravagant. It could be something small. We could go on a picnic. I will say this though, shout out to Courtney and Terrell. I saw that they went to Black Hawk Museum.
He just told me about that.
I'm just saying that's our next date. So I'm just shout out to them. I love museums. I was like, I'm supposed to be doing work. And I'm looking at all the pictures or whatever.
See, I haven't seen any pictures, but he told us yesterday.
Well, it was nice, and that's we're going there. So anyway, but it can be something small like that. It can be a makeshift picnic. If you don't want to be outside in the grass, you could have one on the floor in the living room or whatever it is.
It's little surprise things, right? This is where that saying, it's all about the thought, or it's the thought that matters.
Thought that counts.
Yeah, it's that, not the price tag, right? So
price tag's nice too.
There was a time, we haven't done it in a long time, where I would go out to my car and I'm getting ready to leave in the morning, and Snooks will have taped a note to my steering wheel, or she'll leave it on the dashboard or something, where it was like a little. And so then it was funny. Then it became a competition. Like, okay, not like every day, but it's like, okay, she's not expecting. I don't think she's waiting for it. So I would write a little note, and she even bought these little cute notes that were pre-made, and it was just a matter of ripping one off and taping it.
Well, it was easier to do when I had to leave at 5 a.m.
True.
While you were, because I always wanted to be a surprise. I'm like, oh, here's your note, but we need to get
stuff
back
like that.
into
If you could share silly romantic poems. I mean, that's something I haven't really done. But there was a time where I remember I wrote a letter and mailed it to the house.
That was the most romantic. Yes. Lovey wrote me a letter and he mailed it to the house, and I got it because I got the mail, and I was like, is this what? It was like I couldn't. I was like, wait, is this a letter? I was like, oh, it was so sweet. I still have it.
See, it's the little things, right? We keep coming back to it's the little things. And when you do stuff like that, what it allows you to do is open up the window, open up the door. It opens up a portal, if you will, to another dimension of your relationship. And that's all we're really trying to do on a daily basis. Not just us, but I mean, we're not geniuses. We're getting this from other couples as well. And there's the power in associating with other people that are trying to elevate their marriages as well.
Well, and then just a little thing that's very important. When your partner knows that you, I'm gonna say when your partner knows, but yeah, kind of when your partner knows, it's like when you acknowledge and you see and you respond to what your partner has done or is doing, that's like validation. You know what I'm saying? And it's like you want to continue that behavior because I like getting that type of response from you. So I feel validated, and I'm like, oh, okay, he does like that. Oh, he did notice, or whatever it is. And so I'll be more apt to continue that.
Well, and validation is powerful because every single one, I mean, think about it. We seek validation in every single aspect of our lives. You tell your kids to do something. I told you to do that. If I speak, you speak. You want that validation. That did you hear what I said?
Did you hear me?
Yep. You go to work. You work hard and long hours to accomplish a task, whatever it may be. You want validation that you did a good job. Sometimes it's in the form of compensation. Sometimes it's the pat on the back. It's that atta girl or that atta boy.
Sometimes you just want validation when You let somebody in and they put their hand up and say thank you.
There are times, you ever open a door for somebody and they just walk on through and you're like, oh,
Yeah,
well,
you're welcome.
right. You just want the validation. And it's not that, I don't know. It's weird. It's like, but validation matters in your relationship, not just with strangers, but also here.
Well, I mean, that's just the thing, though. If it matters with strangers, then how much more is it gonna matter with someone who means something to me? It means it. I'm just like, okay, I'm over the top when you validate
Right.
or there's validation, whatever.
But again, all we're talking about is having a culture of appreciation. Look, I'm just going to be very honest with you. I'm always very honest with you, even when you don't want me to be. But one of the greatest ways that you can show appreciation to your spouse, to your children, to your legacy, is by making sure that everyone around you is taken care of. And I can't think of a better way of doing that than ensuring that you have some, what do I want to call them, some fail safes like life insurance, that you have a plan in place, a wealth building plan, something to where you're able to actually, I won't say manipulate taxes because it is getting to be tax time, but I will say there's a way to reduce your taxes. There's a variety of different ways, there's strategies. And I implore each and every one of you to reach out to James Martin. He's a person that we've entrusted with our family. We've got multiple, actually, I won't say multiple wealth managers, but we've got a couple of wealth managers and people that help us to actually, make sure that our family's taken care of. And the greatest way that I can show appreciation for my wife is to make sure that if something happens to me, that she is taken care of long beyond me.
Yeah, and this is just kind of on a personal note. So yesterday we celebrated mom's birthday. Our mother-in-law.
Your mother-in-law, my stepmother.
I mean, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Mom.
yeah, exactly. So, but it was a very nice occasion. But just seeing her happy because Dad just passed away at the end of December, and here we are at the beginning of April. So, if she wasn't taken care of, you know,
She spoke to it a little bit yesterday too.
yeah, we wouldn't be able to be celebrating her right now. We'd be more focused on, okay, what we need to do, how are we going to arrange certain things or whatever. So, but because they made preparations to make sure that whomever was the last one standing was taken care of.
Absolutely. We asked her to give a birthday speech. We're like, speech. And rather than talking about herself, she spent the great majority of the time talking about Dad and how Dad had prepared for her to be taken care of.
I'm like, this is supposed to be a happy occasion.
I know,
Why
she
are you
had us
making
all
me cry?
right? But it was a cool thing to hear that my father had done that, and he instilled that in me as well to make sure that my family's taken care of. And I want to instill in all of you to take care of your family. It's not just about the man taking care of the wife, it's you taking care of each other.
Mm-hmm.
So go to yourfinancialfreedomfighter.com, and it will be in the show notes, and reach out to James Martin just to start a conversation. See what he can do to actually assist you. It's extremely inexpensive. You'll be surprised at how inexpensive it will be to make sure that you're not, or your family is not, doing GoFundMes or car washes or bake sales or fish fries or whatever to take care of somebody that had just passed. Mm-hmm. And they're trying to figure out how we're going to live going forward. And I'm not doing this to be solemn, but it's one of those things that it's a part of life. This is a part of the circle that we need to make sure that we're taking care of and that we're looking at and not neglecting.
Yeah, because so many times that part is neglected. I don't know. I feel like people are like, oh, we just want to speak life and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, okay, but someone is going to pass away and there's still someone that's going to still live. So make sure that part is taken care of. So.
Right. And you just never know. I mean, you guys know that I had cancer. I'm a cancer survivor. And you know that Snooks had that cardiac event not that long ago, beginning of the year. Things are going to happen that you just do not expect. Mm-hmm. And one of the greatest ways, again, to show appreciation for each other is to make sure that you're taking care of each other, even if you can't be there any longer. Mm-hmm. So I'm not going to belabor the point, but I do want to make sure that's going to be something we're going to hammer time and time again, because it doesn't make any sense for us to sit here and talk about, building your marriage and building a relationship without talking about how you can ultimately take care of each other as well.
I do want to say something though.
Nope.
Up, just update. Everyone's been along for the ride from the very beginning when I had my cardiac event. Went to the doctor, saw the cardiologist on Thursday,
Mhm.
and I got I'm gonna say a clean bill of health, but I say my heart's not broken anymore. So the pumping function is back to normal. So yay! Thank you for all your prayers, well wishes, and everything. So your girl's back in business.
It's back in business. I will say this. I'm gonna call it out. She's probably gonna get mad at me, but it's funny
What?
how things. I'm not gonna say anything.
I just
I
said
don't got. I
what?
don't got permission. That look just said, "Bro, don't be bringing up nothing we didn't talk about."
I swear, I'm like, what? No, go
No,
ahead.
that
Go ahead.
alopecia is real
Oh, yeah, it
because
is.
Snooks is now experiencing. It's due to the medication, but there was a little bit of alopecia going on, and now the doctor's trying to figure out what's.
That's not why my hair is wrapped, though. I'm just,
Oh no,
You're
no,
like, oh, poor lady.
no. But again, these are little things you just don't know where they're going to rear their heads. I mean, this isn't life threatening, but it's one of those things where you just don't know.
No,
So
and I knew it was real, just because I have people in my family that have had it.
I'd like to say that I had it too, but that's not the reason why I don't have hair. Um,
I'm done.
Mine's called ageopecia.
What?
It's just my age.
So silly.
But look, so you're asking yourselves, okay, so how do I show? What if I don't know how to show appreciation? What are some of the things that I can actually do? I'm going to give you a very simple, straightforward exercise.
Give it to him.
There, there's a list of words that you can just write down on a piece of paper, right? Like words like loving, sensitive, brave, intelligent, thoughtful, generous, loyal, funny, elegant, graceful, cheerful, shy, vulnerable, warm, virile, practical, lusty, witty.
Did you say musty?
I said lusty. Hey, I don't know. Some folks might like musty too. I don't know. If musty is one of your things, go ahead, write it down. Write it down if that's your thing. But like handsome, beautiful, rich, lively, a great partner, a great parent, assertive, sweet, tender, powerful, flexible,
Protective.
understanding, protective. There's so many different words. Write these adjectives down, right? And then for those, I want you to pick one or two. Just pick one or two of the words and write down that characteristic, and then write about an incident, a time when,
When they displayed it.
yep, when the spouse displayed it. And when they did that, just write, I loved in that moment when when we were here and you were lusty.
I knew you was gonna say.
Or,
I knew you were gonna go there, but go ahead.
or caring, or whatever it may be. Write down one or two, right? And that's a way that you can start to really kind of build that muscle of showing appreciation. And it should be an ongoing exercise where you can just sit there and write it down like, you know what? Or you exhibit it, or you see it. You see it exemplified. They do something, you're like, I like that, Make sure that you let them know that you saw it, you appreciate it, and tell them why. Not just like, I'm lusty right now because you're sexy. No, be like, you
I'm
know what?
sorry,
You're
y'all.
absolutely beautiful,
I'm
and
sorry.
I love the way that when the light hits your eyes,
That makes me lusty.
it makes you musty, and it turns me on. No, what? Hey, for somebody it will, but whatever it may be, make sure it doesn't go without being said or
Yeah,
discussed.
and I think that that's a very big, a good point too, because like, just using the word "I appreciate you." Oh, I appreciate you. Tell me why. What is it about me that you appreciate, or what was it about the incident, or whatever it was that you appreciated? Because that for me solidifies that you really do appreciate me, and I feel like I receive it better, you know, because I know you're not just saying I appreciate you, you know,
No,
I appreciate you,
it goes a
and
long
that's
way.
it.
I love it when I get a text from one of our clients that says, "Hey, just want to say I appreciate you. We were having a discussion and blah blah blah, and we did this and da da da, and I saw myself going down a road, and then I stopped because you and Snooks said X Y Z." I love, 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 love that. That is the greatest validation and appreciation you can give us because it lets us know that we're doing God's work, that what we were called to do. And so we're asking that you guys do that for each other. And that's it. And you know what? I'm going to remind you, make sure you go to marriedintocrazy.com, go over to the question of the month tab, and it says, how do you let your spouse know you appreciate them? Right? It's a simple question. Leave that, that voicemail. All you gotta do is click the button on your computer or on your phone, and there's a little button right there. Just leave it, and we'll include you in the podcast. Now, if we're overwhelmed, we'll include some of y'all. We can't have 40 minutes. Well, actually, that would be kind of cool. If it was just like 45 minutes of just responses from all of you, that would be amazing. And so, I would love to do that one day.
But people like to email or.
Oh, you can email it. You can email, just respond.
Okay.
And while you're on the website, go ahead and make sure that you click on the coaching tab and set up a discovery call. So we can go ahead and have a discussion about how we might be able to assist you.
Yeah. You okay?
I'm good. I was trying not to burp.
Oh.
Sorry, dinner was good.
Like, we keep it real over here, so.
No, and that's it. That's all it was all about. And we had a weekend of appreciation that's kicking off Snooks' birthday month. And I look forward to celebrating you throughout the entire month of April.
That's right.
It's going to be fun. She gets at least 2 weeks.
That's it.
That's all. She has homework. She stresses out over all this other stuff, when we do show appreciation. But no, it's I do love you and appreciate you. And
you want to know how I want to be appreciated?
tell me.
Help me with my homework.
Can't help you with that.
Whatever.
So what are we going to do on her birthday this Saturday? And her birthday is this upcoming Saturday, by the way, April 9th. We're celebrating by interviewing. We're meeting with clients and interviewing some couples for the podcast. Go ahead, say yay.
Yay.
Yeah, that's what we love to do.
That's okay.
That's all right. Hey, we appreciate you, each and every one of you. And if you didn't know it, now you do.
If you don't know, now you know.
So until the next time.
Be blessed.
Bye.
Bye-bye.